Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about a book that completely stole my heart, and that book is Theo of Golden by Alan Levy. I'm just going to say this right away. I gave this a 5-star. Okay? I rated it a 5-star. It deserves a 5-star. The writing is absolutely incredible. This book really is one of those stories that feels really quiet and simple on the surface, but kind of leaves this powerful emotional impact by the end of it. It's definitely a feel-good book, but fair warning, I also sobbed while reading it. So let's talk about why this story meant so much to me. Okay, so let's talk about what this book is about. And as always, this is spoiler free. It's just to give you a little idea about what you're getting into before you get into it. So the story begins in this small southern town called Golden. And one spring morning, a mysterious stranger arrives in town. Nobody knows where he came from, why he's there, or what he plans to do. And his name is, you guessed it, Theo. Theo is a very interesting character. He's an older gentleman, and he spends most of the book asking questions rather than answering them. So he's a very good listener. He doesn't reveal a lot about himself, but instead focuses on learning about all the people around him. And essentially, he goes to this coffee shop right away in town, because he's a coffee addict, as am I, so I understand that. And he sees these beautiful hand-sketched portraits on the wall. And I think there's 92 of them or something like that. And he is wondering why and what the story is behind all these portraits. And he finds out it's a local artist who just will pick a subject that he sees around town and draw their picture, put their name on the back, and the coffee shop will sell them if someone wants them. And Theo quietly decides to buy all of these portraits one by one and sends each of the portrait owners a letter, and he's going to give the portrait owner this portrait of them and have a conversation with them and develop a friendship. And you follow the whole book, just follows a whole slew of characters, and you get all different people from all different types of walks of life, and it's just such a magical book because of that. And really the kindness in this book, if you're looking for a book that's going to bring, it's just a feel-good book, then this one's for you. You can't help but falling in love with Theo and what he's doing and admire him so much. So let's talk about the heart of the story. The reason why this book is such a good feel-good book and such an act of kindness that we just don't see in today's day as much as we should is just that every time Theo returns one of these portraits to its owner, it sparks a conversation. We're having conversations. We're not on our phones. We're not doing, stuck in a mindless loop. We're talking to each other. And he learns about each character's different life history, their ups, their downs, and he's building these friendship, this little older gentleman, and in it such a kind-hearted way, in such a sweet way, you can't help but keep falling in love with Theo, even though we don't know much about him, the whole story, and how all these characters in Golden kind of all come together and blend together, and how even when we have different walks of life, it just shows we're all connected, and we're all can be kind, and we should all strive to be this type of way. Let's talk about the writing. One of the biggest reasons Theo of Golden is a 5-star read for me is because of the writing. Alan Levy writes in such a thoughtful, almost poetic way that the storytelling feels very intentional and reflective. It's almost like you're sitting with these characters listening to their life stories and how they're sharing their lives and the people in the town. The book is not fast-paced at all, and it's not necessarily plot heavy. It's more about the moments, the conversations, and the emotional connections between the characters. I just kept wanting to pick this book up over and over and over again to just see who's he gonna meet next, who's the next character, and how does this character relate to this character over here, and how is it all building this little town of Golden. And it's somehow in those small moments that like really made this powerful impact on me and why I loved this book so much. This is also Alan Levy's first novel, so I can't wait to see what else he has in store. Okay, let's talk about my emotional response. This book really surprised me emotionally. It's definitely a feel-good story because it celebrates kindness, creativity, and community. But at the same time, it wrecked me emotionally. There were moments that they were just so beautiful and heartfelt that I genuinely started tearing up. And the end is when I went full-blown hysterics. So, I mean, it is one of these books that will surprise you in a lot of ways, I think. And it reminds you of the good in people. And I think, you know, I had a lot of life happen to me this last year. I had to end my marriage suddenly, and that was a lot to deal with. And, you know, I think at the time of reading this was a really good book for me to just show like the kindness and goodness that is in people. And I loved every minute of this book. Let's talk about the themes of Theo of Golden. At its core, it's about kindness and generosity. It's also about the power of storytelling and seeing and being seen by other people. It's also the importance of community and the idea that small acts can have a huge impact. And those are all themes that I think we all want to embody and empower and really need to bring into our lives, because, you know, there's so much going on in the world and around us and in our own lives that sometimes we forget to look for the kindness and look for the good. And I think we need more of this type of energy. So let's talk final thoughts. Overall, this book is just a beautiful reading experience for me, and I think it could also be for you. It's heartfelt, it's thoughtful and emotional, and incredibly uplifting. You know, human connection can be so hard, and having meaningful connections with people can be so difficult nowadays. And I think if you want to have that feeling, that good vibes, and just really realizing the importance of learning, like, so listening rather than speaking, just like Theo, and we can learn from other people, and we can grow from other people, and we can be better people from these stories of other people and what they've gone through in their lives, and just being able to all bring it together. I think that's such an important message. And again, that is why it got a 5-star and will absolutely stay with me. It is now one of my favorite books of all time, and I cannot say enough about it. I'm actually looking forward to do a reread of it just to see if I pick up on anything else, you know, the second time through. I just love it. I also just want to talk about this cover really quickly. It's literally perfect. I just think the simplicity of it and the calmness of it, it's what caught my eye in the first place. I just think really well done all around. Okay, so if you have read Theo of Golden, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. I would love to hear if you were as emotionally wrecked or attached as I was. Also, if you haven't read it and you're thinking about putting it on your TBR, please let me know. I'd love to hear that. And I hope you enjoyed this book review. If you haven't checked out any of my other content, I do unboxings, I do reviews, I do TBRs, I do monthly wrap-ups. So we got a little bit of everything for anybody. If there's a type of video you'd like me to make, let me know in the comments. Happy to do it. And as always, I love you all so much. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It goes such a long way for me, and I appreciate it forever. And as always, I hope you have a beautiful reading time, and I love ya. Bye.